Hello and welcome to the first episode of To Be Honest, a show with a clown, a nerd, a duck, and a complete fucking degenerate. I'm ColossalisCrazy. Don't say hi, you fucking twat! Right, no, we're carrying on. I'm not redoing shit. Alright, the first part of the Jaystation series came out, finally. Pyrocynical, surely you watched it. What are your thoughts on it?
It's kind of long. It's kind of long.
Is that it? Is it? It was an hour? You just made a video that was like six times as fucking long. Yeah, but yours was like 7 times as long.
I mean, to be fair though, like your video was much more condensed though. Like my video was 7 hours long and it was just a lot of talky like minimal editing, but yours was like so fucking like that intro was still so amazing. Holy shit.
So unfortunately, just yesterday the video got age restricted. So we're going to try and fix that. But no, do you want to explain what happened there, actually?
So I was wondering what could have caused that. You know, the first thought was that Jstation false flagged it.
I wanted to jump in and talk about this NerdCity stuff and his video getting age restricted. I find it hilarious because it took this guy 2 years to make a video. And it got age restricted.
We have recordings of him from Instagram in the past instructing his followers there to go flag a video that was critical of him.
Hey guys, click report.
So we know that that's one of like the tools in his toolbox.
Yeah, but false flagging is the best way to actually do damage to you though, because it's through like YouTube, so that kind of makes more sense.
Yeah, but he's not smart enough to know that.
I thought that he was, I thought he might have been responsible for it because it had been up for a week, and if there had been something like detected by YouTube's filters, I thought that would have happened while the video was still unlisted. It went through checks. YouTube does have bots that look at and analyze screenshots of the content that you've uploaded, and it looks for things that are like, you know, there's too much nudity or there's gore or something. It scans for those things. I got clarification of what the problem was, and it had to do with the violence of Jay cutting off the head or cutting into the body of his evil twin.
Jaystation be like, I cut off a kid's head, it's fine. You use it as evidence, age restricted, bye-bye.
What? He didn't cut off a kid's head.
I mean, he might as well have cut off a fucking kid's head as well. He probably would have still got away with it.
He cut off his own head?
That bit in the video where he's like going through the innards of himself, did you edit that, or is that actually one of his videos?
No, that was what
he did.
That's what flagged the video, right, as well.
Yeah, so think about the irony of like, you know, we make the video. We make the video talking about how it's inappropriate for children, and then we get age restricted. But the actual, like, the video that was serving that to a young audience did not get age restricted. We found out who did it. So it wasn't Jaystation. It was a aspiring VTuber DM'd me and showed a screenshot of the email they got from YouTube confirming that their report had resulted in the video being removed or age restricted. And then they sent it to me and they said, keep taking L's, NFT bro. So they were gloating that they'd successfully removed it because of my involvement in saying that I'm going to talk about NFTs in a future video.
You know those ape things, those ape NFT things? Apparently they're just like completely racist. This is an ape that is clearly meant to represent a black person, and it's an ape.
Yeah,
so
it's under the hip hop tag. Like it is a bit.
And then and then some are like dressed in like Nazi uniforms and stuff. I've seen that. Like military uniforms.
I would agree with all
like
this.
There's this whole thing going around like these
swastika.
daft apes or whatever. What are they called? Daft apes? Is that right?
Bored apes
Bored apes are like racist.
Oh, what the fuck is that picture? Come on, man.
What picture?
Oh my god. What Ryan just put in chat.
It's like when you think of a crypto chud, they are the person.
Like you know that their mom is literally just out of shot of that photo as well. Like
I mean I'm sorry, that is something that you would do. Pyro, like that is something that you would do. Yes.
Firstly, fuck yourself.
I'm sorry. You bought a $1,000 PlayStation 5 shirt.
Yes, and not a PS5. Cry about it. What's the problem?
Yeah,
it was $1,000, and all it says is PS5 on the logo.
Staying warm.
Jay, please, for the love of God, back me up here.
Staying warm, bad.
Yeah, no, that's 100%. The worst thing is that he literally shits on PS5 daily.
No, the thing is, Oliver, he's a snoyer. He'll literally go against anything I say because I don't have the fucking beloved PS5. If I'm in an Arctic tundra, what's going to protect me more, PS5 or a shirt?
Your argument.
If he's willing to buy a PlayStation 5 t-shirt for $1,000.
I have the hoodie as well, though. That would actually give you insulation.
I mean, it is $1,000 PS5 shirt. I would agree is better than a fucking JPEG of a monkey for 50 grand.
I disagree. At least you can resell the monkey. It's got value, right? You can't sell that shirt on. Or maybe he can to like some degenerate who wants to soak himself in Pyrocynical sweat. Like maybe that's the only resale value it's got.
I could sign it and sell it on.
Some creep degenerate
half the value.
will maybe buy that just to sniff it on occasion. And that's the only resale value that it's got.
I will not back down from the argument that you've basically just said clothing bad.
I didn't say clothing bad. I said $1,000 t-shirt bad.
Warmth bad.
But the only logo is PlayStation. You don't even have a PlayStation. You don't even like it.
It's the worst part.
I have a PlayStation 1.
Worst part.
I can really tell that you like just bought a monkey NFT before this podcast started because the amount of like
how much do these monkeys sell for? How much do these fucking monkeys sell for?
What's the floor price at the moment?
It's like $100,000 or something.
I think it's more, right? Isn't
like a $250,000. Some of them, depending on the rarity, are selling for like $1 million.
What, for like the cheapest fucking monkey?
Yeah,
it's just been steadily going up.
I thought it'd be like 10K or something.
No.
Fucking hell.
A shit-drawn fucking monkey with maybe some racist memorabilia on its person for 100 to 200 grand.
There's an effort underway right now to basically undo its power to be a flex. So right now, clearly these guys think it's a flex. And if you look at the replies underneath, there are people saying, oh, the poor waitress probably didn't even know what she was looking at. So it's like, it's that kind of ugly attitude where these guys are all like, we're rich and everybody else is too dumb to even know that this is like $1 million worth of monkeys. So it's one of the ugliest things that's going on within the NFT community right now. And it gives it a bad impression because like this to me is like, flexing designer clothes, like someone with a Gucci logo on their shirt that goes out to a club. This is the equivalent of that. Like a black person buying a Bored Ape. It's a conversation that no one really wants to touch because either it's racist or it's exclusionary because it could be called racist. And
yeah, I mean, let me give you my theory on it. And I don't know too much about Bored Apes or NFTs, or certainly not as much as you do, Nerd. But let me just give you my quick theory. I don't think there's anything to it. I don't think there's any kind of racism involved at all. I think they literally just like ran out of ideas, or rather, like you said, it's a bot. So you've got random assortment of objects and things to put on the different apes, right? They've just got these different things in a folder. And one of them turned out to be a Nazi-looking hat. Or one of them turned out to be a piece of jewelry that would be most represented on a black wrapper, right?
I agree with you.
I don't think there's anything racist to it. I think it's bullshit.
I agree with you. And what it demonstrates to me, though, is bad judgment. So what they were trying to do was replicate the CryptoPunks. Even in the name, it's indicating that you know about technology and that you're like an outsider or a contrarian. You're a punk. You know, it's two things that somebody would want to say. And a Bored Ape is trying to do the same thing. The first thing, saying that you're bored, is like this really lame way of saying that I'm separate and different from you and nothing is impressing me. You know, like none of this is entertaining to me. I'm bored. It's a very,
God.
you know.
I already hate
the lazy expression literally
is that really
tells
what
that
it is?
Yeah.
Like
and then ape
one.
has got a lot of connotations with like investing recently.
They did a good job of emulating the CryptoPunks because they both look fucking awful.
Well, I like the CryptoPunks. I've got no problem with them.
The CryptoPunks are definitely easier on the eyes because it is just like 8 pixels compared to fucking MS Paint drawing.
Someone who says they're bored, like there's this boomer saying like only a boring person would say that they're bored, but there's something to that. Like the most interesting people are the ones that are curious and they're always learning something new. And someone who's just like, I'm bored, like that's not an attractive quality.
If you're the type of person to comment on a video, I'm bored, or something like that. I know people are going to do this now, but it doesn't matter. People are going to type, I'm bored, like, okay, you just wrote a boring fucking comment yourself. You've been boring. There's so much hypocrisy in that, which is why I can't stand this whole premise. This entire concept is bullshit. And people are actually attracted to this.
And the whole project, to me, like, is a very calculated attempt to make something as valuable as the CryptoPunks. They did some very smart things in the beginning to try and get credibility within the crypto community. And one of the videos that I'm working on reverse engineers how it became popular. So it was very calculated. what you'll see in the way that they talk is this hip marketing speak that to me is just so inauthentic. The way that they describe themselves is like,
we're not like the others. We won't ever try to be. We are our own mixed up blend of one-of-a-kind spices.
We're just 4 friends who just wanted to see if we could test our skills by making something ridiculous. And then recently, they ruined what was a perfectly reasonable thread that was crediting all the people who have basically made this and done the hard work for them. And they were like, this person is running our Discord. These 4 people drew it. And then at the end, they go like,
we are Miracle Whip, and we will not tone it down.
We just wanted to find a collaborative way to draw a dick on a bathroom wall. Oh, and that's not true.
Hell. And these things are selling for 100 to 200 grand. Give me a fucking break.
I mean, that's the problem, though. When you try and make something that comes across like, cooler than thou, like, oh, I stand out, I'm special. You just attract so many. Oh my God, the bowler hat. No.
All the people that own them legit just look like, the picture I sent, it's just like, they're not cool. It's like guys who just got into money and they're all like neckbeards. They got lucky and bought a funny monkey at the right time.
Yeah, it is a new money type of thing. So like someone with really corny bad taste that just wants a flex item. That's what it's becoming obvious that it is.
Yeah, and who owns one? Like Post Malone owns one.
Some of our friends, like people that we respect, have bought them because they know that they could be worth more money. And then them buying them makes the whole project worth more money. It gets the stamp of
Post Malone dropped over 700K on 2 Bored Ape NFTs. It's genius how repulsive some of them look as well.
So you have people like Gary Vee call a group of people that might include Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, Mark Zuckerberg, Mark Cuban, people who he can reach. He'll get them all in a Zoom call and he'll say, this was recounted to be exactly what he said. Everybody shut the fuck up. I need you to go buy a CryptoPunk right now, no matter what it costs. Get as many as you can. And then they listen to him. Like powerful people listen to Gary Vee and they go and they buy the CryptoPunk. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It becomes more valuable because they're influential and they've stored their money in it and they've added their stamp of approval to it. The value of some of these things is based entirely on marketing and momentum and attention. And people who really care about art are incredibly offended by that. They're like, that's ruins it.
Well, I've always thought it's a pyramid scheme though, right? Because it is people that already have relevance that are just like inflating the value of it.
I've had several conversations with Nerd about NFTs, and he has kind of sold me on the concept as a whole. Like, I don't think it's as bad as I thought it was, based on what he told me within a conversation.
Yeah, can I tell you guys some of the things that I see within NFTs that I think might like open your minds to why it's bigger than just this monkey stuff?
Yeah, I tell you what, sell us in 3 minutes. You got 3 minutes to sell us on NFT. Everyone listening on NFTs for good.
Let me open some notes here. 1 second, because I am like writing a video about this. So this
you better not be writing it right now. You're not writing this video right now, are you?
No, but maybe I'm working on my ability.
Please, for the love of fucking God, don't tell me that.
They'll expect the Jaystation video, and it's just like, why monkey bad NFT?
See, Colossal, this proves that I wasn't working on it because it's not like.
I trust you. I trust you. I just wanted to confirm that you hadn't started writing this bullshit already.
No. I've got like 5 bullet points right now, and I haven't started writing this yet. Okay, so the first thing is that NFTs are not a type of art. A lot of people are getting confused and thinking like NFTs look terrible. They're bad art. No, they're just a technology that's layered into art because art can benefit from it. And there's been a rush and an arms race right now to come out with the first stuff that does this. So you've got rushed looking things. You've got things that are generated by computer scripts. You've got things that are made by AI. So you've got very bad stuff, and people who have a discerning taste will look at it and say, this is bad art. And I agree with them. I think they're correct. So there's massive overvalue because there's more people learning about this for the first time who are rushing into the scene, and people are making things to sell to them and take advantage of this opportunity. So I agree that number one, it's overvalued. Number two, that the art is bad. But
could you imagine though, like how much we've evolved from, the whole like using your mum's credit card to buy V-Bucks, but now it's using mummy's credit card to buy an NFT.
How much has mummy's credit card got if it's got 200,000 to buy a fucking monkey?
You buy V-Bucks or Robux?
You could literally buy a fucking real-life monkey for 100,000. Less than 100,000. You could buy a fucking zoo for that.
I mean, you could not buy a zoo. You could definitely buy a whole fucking house.
A small. You've seen that movie with Matt Damon where he puts a zoo on a fucking roundabout? That wasn't $100,000. Just buy a bunch of little fucking animals. You could buy a bunch of fucking chickens, stick them in a fucking cage and call it a zoo if you really wanted to, and just like one monkey.
When you said a third world zoo, Jay, I just imagine like going to the supermarket, buying some eggs, and then put them in like an incubator and they hatch.
There's utility that can be built into NFTs. So for example, one of the things that I've done right now is I'm replacing the functionality of Patreon, where you basically paywall a server, like exclusive content. You know, you don't want everybody to be able to come in here and talk to these artists or talk to, you know, high level traders or to a creator or whatever. You can do that with an NFT.
Can I just ask, to interrupt you a little bit, can I just ask, is it possible for me to sell this as an NFT? If I read through the entire dictionary, every single word in my voice,
you can sell anything.
Can I sell each individual word in that dictionary, which I've read, as an NFT?
Well, you can make anything into an NFT. Like I was saying, you could make a scribble.
Could you guys watch this, by the way? I literally just stumbled on this. I wasn't even looking for it, completely on accident, but it's probably one of the best fucking NFT memes I've seen.
Okay, so he's trying to keep you from photographing it. Well, let me comment on that for a second. So what's happening right now is there's an ironic bounce back of so many people will say like, well, I can just right click and save this. What's the point of it? And then the people who, you know, own the NFT or are making them will pretend that you're stealing it and they'll just play along. And so a lot of the people don't realize that that's making fun of them. It's as stupid as saying, can't I take a Bitcoin and copy it on my computer and then have more of them? So when you say like, I've just saved the NFT and now it's mine, you're admitting that you don't understand what made Bitcoin an innovation in that it solved the double spend problem with a distributed ledger. So like if you start with that base level,
funny,
people aren't actually making that equation, right? They're not actually saying that. It's posted as a joke and as a meme, right? Do people actually think like, your NFTs are useless because I can just click save as, right click save as?
Yeah.
Do people genuinely believe that?
Let me take back saying it's
stupid. The joke makes sense to people that are uneducated, because obviously people that are just literally that fresh on the internet will look at it and think, image, how is image worth money?
Yeah, it's not necessarily stupid. It's just it's the first thought that you might have.
Things like portraits exist, right? Some of which are worth a lot of money. So surely they can preemptively understand that a picture can actually be worth something, even if it's digitalized.
Yeah, but you don't own it though, Oliver. That's the point. You literally don't own it. Like, yeah, you buy a copy. That doesn't mean
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, that's the thing with NFTs. You've owned the original copy, the original version. Yeah. The Mona Lisa, right? You own the original Mona Lisa. Not a poster of the Mona Lisa, not a replication of the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa.
So let me put it in video game terms, because I think this is going to resonate more with all of you guys, because you're gamers. So
not really.
This is a great innovation for video games. If you think of some of the games that have a valuable item, whether it's cosmetic or a weapon or whatever, that has a value either within the market inside the game, like World of Warcraft will have its own market, or it'll be the black market, or it'll be like CSGO, people, buying and selling those.
God, I remember when there was such a craze around them. Like, there still is, nowhere near as much now, but yeah, like you'd get the knives on CSGO, and they had like different gradings. It'd be like a factory new all the way to like battle scarred.
They were like the Bored Apes of the CSGO world.
Yeah, they were worth thousands, and I mean, nowhere near the funny monkeys, but they still were worth a fair amount.
But I'm pretty sure like all four of us rather, thought that those CSGO karambit knives selling for $10,000 was bullshit. Like, it was ridiculous.
Also, there's Fortnite.
Oh, right. No,
okay,
he's a fucking
man, we're not going there.
It was 3 then.
We're not going there, sir.
We're not going there. The Balenciaga PS5 shirt. I mean, he's not the best example.
Didn't you buy a
PUBG
coat for $400?
No. You're getting me confused with someone else, I think.
So, hypothetically, nerd, let's say you bought some skins in Fortnite, as Jay bought like 500 of them. He spent like a ridiculous amount of money on them.
I spent $100, so that's not that much in the grand scheme.
For a tomato head, I would say it's quite a lot. But in any case,
it's $100 for like 1,000 hours of my time.
Yeah, but you could have played it for free. Okay, let's not get into that.
I think he's coping right now.
But instead you had to buy the tomato head.
I mean, I think you're coping because you bought a sweatshirt for $1,000.
Yeah, I don't know who you're talking about. This didn't happen.
But some of those items you would get for like participating in a world event, or they no longer sell them, so they become more rare later, right?
Yeah.
So if there was a marketplace where you could easily sell those tokens to someone else,
it was.
Some of them might be worth more money than you paid for them. I think that's something that that people who sink money into video games should expect.
But the video game would still have to implement it, right? Like, because that system already exists on Steam, like on CS:GO.
But they're
you
not
can sell
so like
all your guns.
The interoperability between the games doesn't really exist yet, and there's a lot of games now that are being built on this. So like the dream of the metaverse, and I know you're all hearing metaverse a lot recently, right? Especially with Mark Zuckerberg changing the name. So the idea, if you picture, there's a metaverse right now called the Sandbox, where you can buy land, and within the land you can build like a place to hang out, or you can build an.
I literally am just imagining Gmod now, like you talking. That's all I can imagine in my head.
It's like a Minecraft type universe, but where there are all these little portals that'll take you to games that people have built, or mansions that they've built, or things like that. But when you come out of the game, when you come out of the instance, you get to keep all of your gear.
Just another way of reminding people that aren't special that they're special, right? They've got the special, customizable little item that no one else has got, or very few people have.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the whole internet right now. People are trying to stand out from each other.
It's always been about trying to stand out though, right? Like you've had fucking hell, like I remember in like Halo 3 and shit, you even had that like recon armor and that, like in every video game and instance, people have always wanted to stand out. That's why cosmetics fucking juice so much, right?
If you were the type of person who would be willing to spend $20,000 to have a rare hat to flex it.
Pyro.
Actually hang yourself.
Wouldn't you rather be able to see the provable scarcity of it on the blockchain? Like, look, there were only 2,000 of these ever made. Yeah. I can see.
I mean, I'm guilty of spending like stupid amounts of money on things because of the exclusivity of that FOMO, that feeling of missing out.
Well, like, what kind of conversation are you having? Who are you telling this to? I've got the rare special mug hat that no one else has.
Other fucking morons.
Who are the what is this conversation? How does it go? You just tell your friend in school, like, I've got the mug hat.
You just say, I'm a fucking
idiot. I've got the
idiot.
tomato head in Fortnite. Nobody else has got the tomato head. It's like, what is that conversation? Like, what do you benefit from that? Is your friend going to go, oh, wow, cool, I wish I had the tomato head? The fuck?
The funny thing is they do though. There's a whole fucking mentality on Fortnite of people who own like one of the first skins ever. You know, like.
And so what? What are they doing with it? Like, where are they saying this? Where are they boasting about it? I want to know where.
To the other people who play the game, like to the outsider, you're just like, these guys are fucking losers.
So they're typing something in the chat like, look at my fucking tomato.
Well, it almost develops like on Twitter. Like if I posted that I owned this original Fortnite skin, I'd get a bunch of people replying like, give me it. It's like the mentality just develops that this item is rare.
But what did you get out of that? What did you posting your tomato head on Twitter get out of this interaction?
I mean, I wouldn't get anything, but
there are people that vapid of personality that really would just post that shit for gratification. It's like, oh, I stand out.
Some people just want any sort of like power or to feel better about someone. That's why there's so many Discord moderators.
I mean, there's literally a term for it. Like, you know how there's microtransactions in games, right? They actually have a term because like 99% of all the purchases are made by like the 1% that just spend like retards amount of money. Like they're literally called like whales. Yeah. Because it's literally poaching a whale, because it is just like millionaires and billionaires that will spend like tens of thousands on a singular game because they just have no concept of...
there is some benefit to these whales. I mean, they can keep games alive. Like, I play this game called Runeterra.
Sounds awful.
It's fucking good. It's the best
I was going to say, like, Oliver, you say that, but these are the same people probably keeping games like League of Legends alive.
Let's go with fucking League of Legends.
No, I knew you were going to say that. That's a terrible example.
Yeah, it's a completely free game, right? You can play it. It's completely free. It doesn't cost you anything, but you just want to buy... If you buy the skins...
It costs you hours off your life. And
yeah, other than that, what do you want as a fucking example?
Definitely
Fortnite?
Not League of Legends. That's the worst example.
Okay, Fortnite. Like, everyone has played fucking Fortnite. Okay, play Fortnite. Yeah, it's completely free. Buying the different skins is not going to improve your ability at the game.
It does.
And yet, no, it doesn't. It fucking doesn't. Does the tomato head...
It does.
Does the tomato head... Does the funny little spurg dance do anything to your abilities within the game? Does it make you a better shot? No, it fucking doesn't.
And yet,
Fortnite has made like billions of dollars just because of these ridiculous outfits.
This is the worst thing I'm going to admit, right? But when I buy like an expensive skin in a video game, I actually feel like I am doing better for a small amount of time. I'm not even joking.
Well, that's just mental illness speaking. That's just complete
it's definitely
mental
coke,
illness
but also
speaking.
like placebo, yeah.
You know, there women will pay a ridiculous amount of money for a purse that will carry things just as well as another purse. It's a cosmetic flex. It says to people,
I thought you were going to say like just as well as a bin bag or something, like a bin liner. It's like, yeah, it does the same job. Just fucking have that.
Gucci bin liners.
So some of it is just to indicate like, look, I'm better than you. I'm doing better than you. You should be jealous of me and listen to me, you know, follow me, whatever. It's a way of just trying to stand out.
They do that with a lot of products. It's like with like Louis Vuitton and stuff. They make Louis Vuitton appear like it's this luxury brand, but they purposely price it so like nearly anyone can afford it.
The hypocrisy is coming.
Where hypocrisy? Where hypocrisy? Money bad?
You literally buy designer clothes like this.
I like this cope you've been using the whole fucking podcast.
It's true.
Okay, but it's true.
If it's true.
Being a hypocrite does not make me wrong. Being a hypocrite does not make me wrong.
Because I used to sell children's toys, right? Little known fact. And I've been to some of these factories where
That's
they
how
produce...
you kidnap so many children.
we
know that.
Yeah, okay, great. But they also produce these cosmetic items, particularly like the Yeezys, for example. They're all manufactured in the same places like the cheap designer trainers. Not even designer trainers, just trainers. All in the same factory. Same exact shoe. They just stick a Yeezy tag on it. That's the only difference. But yet they sell for like 50 times as much. I've literally seen it with my own eyes. It's a total con.
Well, I'm with you, Colossal. I've always been like an anti-flexing person. To me, that always seems sort of like a shallow way of trying to say that you're better than someone.
The best one is shoes, right? Trainers, shoes, sneakers.
Yeah, shoes are a good investment. Like, at least with
I don't think they are. I completely disagree. Like you can buy a perfectly good pair of shoes that's going to last you maybe 2 years, something like that.
Well, yeah, but
as opposed to a pair of Yeezys, which probably won't. Even if you want to flex your shoes on other people, right? When you're talking to someone while you're flexing, who the fuck is looking at your shoes?
Now, I think shirts and shoes are the same. I don't understand why shoes get any more kind of...
Who is looking at your shoes when they're speaking to you?
I'll agree with Jay. There's definitely a bigger collector's culture around shoes. I get that. Like, it's almost like they're...
Shoes are more useful, I would say.
Yeah, but you can buy a perfectly good pair of shoes for like 1/10 of the price. And they're still a very good pair of shoes. So in terms of like dynamics of how the shoe fucking works,
shirts and stuff have the same.
A shirt,
like you can collect them just like shoes.
Despite me ripping into Pyrocynical for buying $1,000 shirt, that is almost better than him buying $1,000
every 2 minutes, man. Every 2 minutes.
But that is almost better. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt if you'll fucking listen. Like that is almost better. That is better than buying a pair of shoes for the same price. Because at least when people are seeing him on the fucking street, they can see the PlayStation 5 shirt that costed $1,000. They can see it with their own eyes. Whereas his shoes, who's looking at his shoes? Like how socially inept do you have to be to look at someone's shoes when you're walking and think, oh wow, he's got a really nice pair of shoes. You can't tell. They're indistinguishable. The logo is so small.
Oliver,
you can't see it.
Virgil Abloh that just died. Oliver, if you look at Virgil Abloh that just died, anything he touched with Off-White or his own company, Canary, like
who died?
That has gone up so much in value. Virgil Abloh, the guy that owns Off-White, and
Roman Abloh, what?
No, Virgil Abloh, fucking bro, can you fucking fix the frequency on your hearing aid?
So there was a guy named Virgil Abloh. He was a black designer. And he would use, I think, the Helvetica bold font, and he would just write like Off-White, or he would write where it was made on the clothes, and that became valuable. It was very minimalist.
But he owned a company called Off-White that was worth like billions, I think. But he was also hired as the male fashion designer for Louis Vuitton. Mm-hmm. So anything that he's basically touched now, past his death, has gone up so much in value. So there definitely is collector's items. Like I've got like half my fucking room is shit that he made, pretty much.
Oh, of course it is. Of course it is. He's got pillowcases worth $10,000. Every night when he dribbles in his sleep, they're losing like $100 in resale value, but okay.
I gave my girlfriend the IKEA collab that he did, and he actually did pillowcases.
I'm not even that expensive. I said it as a joke, but I'm really not surprised it was a real thing.
Clown picking on Pyrocynical about his PlayStation shirt that cost a few $100s.
Let's talk about how much he's spending on fat art. Let's talk about
what he's getting at here is like you're sending a signal to someone that you have nice things, that you can afford nice things. So I think like the legitimate question there is like, what company are you keeping that would basically like peer pressure you into having something like that?
I mean, Oliver's just jealous because like in 1942 when he was my age, they weren't allowed to have clothes. They were whisked away to like families in Wales.
Yeah, they all had to wear matching uniforms back.
Clown will wear clothes until they turn into dust. Yeah, so that's like he's got the complete frugal approach.
It's still working as a shirt. Like I'm not going to throw it out.
He's wearing a shirt with like 20 holes in it.
Yeah, once it's got enough holes, I think there's like a formula to it. Like if it's got 7 holes in it, then I'm going to throw it out. But it's just like a couple of holes. Like who gives a shit? It's just a hole. Nobody can see it.
He's still using an iPhone like 3 that doesn't even run properly, like unironically.
It's an iPhone 5S, I think.
Oh, sorry.
And I've still got it. I still use it because it's working perfectly well.
Like,
it's a little bit slow. Okay, it's a little bit slow. I can't download the new apps onto it. But otherwise, to make fucking phone calls, it still works perfectly well. I've got all my audio books on it. I've got everything on it. Like it works perfectly. How do you book it? It's perfectly functional as a fucking phone. Why would I get a new one?
Can you do anything with it other than
He
text?
probably can't even call emergency services, dude. He messaged me on WhatsApp the other day just saying test, and then it took him 2 weeks to reply to him saying test.
Yeah.
That is true. But otherwise it's fine. It can still make phone calls.
Well, otherwise it's fine because it could be used as a paperweight. Like what?
Can I speak directly to Jaystation? Jaystation, are you afraid of clowns?
Don't we make you laugh? Aren't we fucking funny?
You know what killed me in your video? Like when you do the cutaways of all the little kids that were basically just being like, I love Jaystation, he's so epic and based, and like they were literally like, I don't think you've shown a single child that was like over the age of 7.
Kid in the red hat, I believe, the kid who was trying to summon his evil twin through a public bathroom's mirror. Yeah, one of the criticisms about the video was that we didn't blur the kids' faces. In fairness, like it is a pretty good criticism. In fact, we did discuss it, Nerd and I.
Yeah, that's something that we debated for a long time.
When we first started working on the video, like that was one thing that I mentioned, like we should probably blur these kids' faces.
Yeah, the only comparison I can think of is
we have to show proof, like it's not just some random kid we've hired on Fiverr here.
Yeah, I get that you want to prove validity. I don't know, it's always weird because like I remember like the only comparison I can think of is like an old ass H3 video where he was like fucking about in New York Park and there was some kid that walked past him and apparently that kid's parents weren't happy with the video, so they actually copyright struck it, and then H3 had to like retroactively like blur out the faces and shit.
Yeah,
so
I think we'll do it for part 2, but we needed to provide proof.
Holy shit, the new Nintendo Direct is dog shit.
Yeah, great. What the fuck has that got to do with Jaystation, though?
Turn off your television, whatever you're looking at. Stop it.
Television? It's 2022.
What are you looking at? Nintendo Direct? I mean, you could be watching
his computer.
G4.
I've just got it muted on in the background. It looks complete dog shit. Like they've got.
We're trying to do the first episode of the podcast here, and he's off in the background commissioning fat art. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, he's looking at the Kirby Vor from the Direct, where Kirby eats a whole car. He's jacking off to it right now.
Oh no, I literally just saw that right now. I saw that right now.
To circle back to the showing his viewers on screen and the content they were making to get his attention or to mimic his content. I think part of the reason we had to do it, if I go back to like the debate Colossal and I had back and forth, is when the criticism of content being aimed at a younger audience like really started. If you think about some of those commentary videos that started pointing that out, it was the fake kissing videos and the prank videos that H3 like made his name talking about. He would say like, well, who's watching this? Like no one would be interested in seeing two 20-year-old people making out for 5 minutes other than a kid who doesn't really know how to kiss. And so that became the go-to criticism. It's like, oh, you're making videos for kids, you have a young audience. And then the backlash against that, when people got sick of that criticism.
Yeah, it's always like the go-to argument, right? How do you prove it? How do you prove it? You can't prove it. Well, we did fucking prove it, actually. Yeah. So I don't know what you want. You can't have it both ways. You can't say, oh, you can never prove it. You'll never prove that his fans are kids. And then when we do prove it, say, oh, well, you shouldn't have proved it because his fans are kids.
I mean, the important thing is, was this
Fucking
before
ridiculous.
or after Jake Paul's dad, Greg Paul, was like kissing random girls?
I was just about to say you gave me a fucking PTSD about that when you mentioned kissing.
Was that before or after?
Before
like,
that.
Who actually invented it?
Before that.
Oh, Lord. He's actually the fucking predecessor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
do you remember
Paul,
there was a guy with bracelets?
I think it's pronounced Predator. But.
In any case, now that the points have been made, we have proved it. We are going to blur their faces in part 2, probably. I don't have a problem with that. Because we did prove that the audience were kids and he was catering his content towards them. In fact, you know, just in a recent interview he did with Tommy C, he admitted that practically verbatim.
Did you market your stuff towards kids? I mean, I think this is tough to argue.
Yeah, probably. I didn't at first, but when I figured out that a lot of young people watch me, that's when I started bringing in Kermit the Frog or Teletubbies and stuff like that.
At no point in the video you used the joke that he looks like the fucking crackhead son from Resident Evil 7.
Not all of them have obscure video game references off the top of their head.
Oh my god, that's like the most popular racing game today. Come on, man. He looks exactly like the guy.
Oh wait, I know who you mean.
The son from Resident Evil 7. They look exactly the same. Please, when you put this on YouTube, put a side-by-side comparison. They look the same.
Yeah, it is apt. I think we refrained from making fun of like physical appearance because like that's an automatic
you did call that guy a
flag.
pig. You did call that guy.
No. Believe me. You say pig and then you exclusively show the fat man. Like, come on.
Well, yeah, but you know, we have to tell the truth. I mean, if a fucking disgusting pig appears on screen, we have to point that out.
Well, YouTube will just let you have it because they're like, yeah, he kind of was.
Yeah, exactly, yes.
I like this deniability you've got going on, but exclusively when you say pig, you center on the fat man in the video.
That's where Pyro paused the video and had a little alone time.
Yeah, I don't know about that one anyways.
Yeah, that does make sense, actually. Okay, now I see why it's
it doesn't.
It does make fucking sense.
It doesn't.
Do you reckon he edited his own videos? I can't imagine him using an editing program for like...
He did eventually hire editors, but at first
he either edits himself or he gets a guy off Fiverr, probably.
Well, there was one girlfriend he had who he was paying to work on his content, you know, long hours in his fucking apartment, not with money, with food.
That's right. Yeah, I saw that. Like, not actual money, but just like would pay for the.
Yeah, just buy a fucking.
It wouldn't even
breakfast.
be good food, right?
She
like
would be slaving away in his apartment with him on these fucking shit videos, and he would just buy a breakfast.
Sweetie, I know you've been working on this video for 20 hours. Here's your payment, an egg McMuffin.
Was that the one that was like, when you asked about the cat, she like laughed so uncomfortably, I felt like she knew something?
A lot of people slated that, like a lot of people were very critical of that, but at the same time, like it was just a nervous laugh. I don't know, people read too much into things, I think.
Oh, did other people mention that?
Yeah. Like the comments are riddled with it. I kind of feel that Aiko, which is her name, is kind of a psychopath herself because she laughed at that dead cat, but it's like it was a nervous laugh.
This is me. I'm going to read the DM I sent her and then what she said in reply. I think it's... So I said, something I didn't anticipate at all was that people would be latching on to how you reacted when we asked you to speculate about the cat. Because yeah, keep in mind, we were asking her to speculate. The cat disappeared after she left. I said, I took it as you were just taken aback at the absurdity of the question and not wanting to say the wrong thing. But so many people are commenting about that laugh. Anyway, I don't blame you for chuckling. You just didn't know the answer. Plus, Clown laughed as he asked the question. So he like kind of prompted her into that direction. So sorry if that sends any misplaced accusations your way. And she said, yeah, some people are hitting me up about that. I think I laughed because I was confused about why that was even a question. And I didn't know that the cat had passed away. Considering he fakes a lot of people's deaths.
So Oliver actually asked those. So when you can hear Oliver's voice like in the recording, that's him actually asking it live.
Yeah,
it was an interview.
I'm not surprised she laughed. He sounds like a fucking Disney villain.
He had a thing for hitting his cat. It was weird. Like that's how I knew the guy was bipolar. Because at one moment he'd be like, "Oh my god, I love my cat. I love it so much," and all of a sudden he's just like, he screams at it, he hits it. Like what the hell's happened?
I'm Jaystation, used to have a cat. Now that is true.
That cat is still missing today. We don't know what happened to that cat. Do you think there's a chance, there's a possibility that he may have killed that cat?
So you mentioned earlier about that he did an interview 1 or 2 days after our video came out, and that interview was, I mean, it's full of gold for us because essentially he confirmed most of the major points we were making. He confirmed that he knew the age of his audience, that he included Muppets and puppets in order to cater to them further, that he didn't regret anything that he'd done. He wouldn't change a thing. That he's primarily motivated by money, and that he'd believed at the time that he'd sold his soul to the devil. Remarkable. It was like every limb that we went out on just sort of gracefully let us down, and we were confirmed as being correct.
I love the fact how he didn't try to hide any of it either. Like literal Joker tier arc of like, you wouldn't get it, smoking the cigarette.
The selling the soul to the devil bit, we believed the people who told us this because they weren't like laughing when they said it. They said it earnestly. Aiko, you saw, was very uncomfortable when we brought it up. I mean, I think her reaction was very genuine. She's like, oh shit, they know something that I didn't want to say. We believed that they believed it, but what we didn't know, what we couldn't predict was how Jay would respond to that. Like whether he would deny it and say like, oh, come on, that's ridiculous, And he kind of did that at first, the first time. And then when pressed, so did you really do this before YouTube? And he goes, oh yeah, I did a ritual.
Did you ever sell your soul in exchange for YouTube views? I mean, did you ever have the actual seance off camera begging some kind of, I don't know, manifestation? That's not the right word. Some sort of higher power to give you YouTube views, like unironically.
I did. I did do a ritual before I did YouTube.
I got him.
Wouldn't that mean that whenever his channel was like flopping, he'd have to do another sacrifice to like keep it going, to revive it?
I mean, I think when you sell your soul to the devil the first time, I don't think you could sell it again.
Yeah, there's usually...
you can make more sacrifices though, surely. Like, come on.
There's usually a catch. And I think that's pretty famous in most literature with selling your soul to the devil. And the catch for Jaystation is something he acknowledged even in his interview. He said that he got what he wanted. So the clause in his contract said that he wanted to have a certain amount of money, a certain amount of subscribers by his 30th birthday. And he got those things, but he lost them all on his 30th birthday. So he found that, that's the catch. There it is. You got it, but then you lost it by the date that you'd specify you needed it by.
Along with his hair.
If you have sold your soul or committed some kind of ritual, do you fear going to hell?
Oh yeah, big time. I'll tell you a crazy thing.
Sure.
When I wrote that contract back in the day,
yeah,
I said I want the money and the subscribers by my 30th birthday. And then it was on my 30th birthday where I got demonetized, or YouTube demonetized I'm Jaystation.
Hear that?
It's amazing. Great.
Thank
you for the clip.
So the biggest takeaway for me from that interview was that he's not sorry for anything he's done, despite apologizing for it in the past. So it proved his fake little apology videos pretty unauthentic. Videos that, not just his fan base bought into, but like half of fucking YouTube, like other YouTubers.
So I remember you doing that kind of that build up in the beginning of how many hours you had to watch of content. I think it was how many days non-stop? Was it like 20 days, like 15 days or something?
Yeah, 18 days if you watched it in a row without
18 days, that's right. So like, how did you even do that? Like, surely you hire people to watch it for you, right? Or did you literally just sit there, you poor fucker, just watching
well, we split it between 3 people. So I probably covered like 70% of it. That's my estimate. And then the other 2 covered the rest.
Even 3 people, that's just Jesus
still a
Christ, man.
It really was. It was maddening.
So was it wake up 6 a.m., piss, shit, shave, and then just like watch him like constantly? This bald man.
18-hour days of just grinding that content, making timestamps, sorting the timestamps into patterns of behavior.
There was a bit you had in the opening of your video where he sniffed a furry's ass. Like, what was even the context of that?
Is it okay to jack off to you guys?
I mean, the context is this is the kind of content you can expect
opinion.
From
It said in my brain, but no opinion.
We were going to stick. Actually, it was discussed at one point. We were going to put like Pyrocynical as like a little tag.
Yeah.
On the furry,
oh no, we been new. We know. I saw that and I was like, I imagine there's going to be Pyro Red. I was fucking amazed that there wasn't.
We didn't do it in the end, but it was certainly considered. We showed that clip because this is a prime example of the content that you could expect from Jaystation. Like, one of the main defenses for him has always been like, this is satire, this is parody. Okay, he's sniffing a furry's ass for parody, okay, that's something. But like, if you wanted a definitive argument as to why his content was never satire or parody, I mean, just
the thing is as well, the content he made was complete. The content he made was complete fucking AIDS car, right? I get that, and I feel like, to an extent, most people could kind of just allow that and pass it on as any other cat. Like, who's that Asian kid that, like when Etika died, he did a 3am. I mean, fucking didn't Jay do that as well? Jstation, when Etika died, he did a 3 a.m.
Well, he kind of clickbaited it in a way, like he did title the video and thumbnail.
I'm very sure
in a way
he did a 3. Yeah,
in a way would appear that he was going to try to contact Etika at 3 a.m. with a Ouija board.
But unfortunately,
and then the
like,
entire video
kind of
itself was just like, I'm not going to do that, guys. And then it was all about him being in a home invasion. Which, by the way,
like
that home invasion, which some people are going to remember quite well, Critical made a whole video on it, was one of the only things that we believe Jaystation was telling the truth about. And Critical said in his video that if Jaystation is telling the truth, I will publicly apologize. I mean, Critical was actually wrong there. Technically, he owes Jaystation a public apology for that, though I don't suggest he gives it. He's not obligated to do that, I don't think. No one owes Jaystation an apology.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like, I mean, you've proven Jaystation right, but it's like, he's got no fucking credibility left anyway. I mean, my point was, though, like, you've got so many of these channels that make these garbage clickbait-ass content, you know, like that Michael McCrudden guy, right? He changed pretty recently, but I remember ages ago, whenever someone, like, croaked, he'd be first to make a video, like, oh, before they were gone.
2 hours later.
Yeah, you have all these parasites that come out of nowhere, but it's more the fact that behind the scenes, this guy is like, he's just almost fucking evil, right? Like how he tries to dox people, fuck with people.
I mean, I would not say almost, I would say like genuinely. Some of the things he's done are genuinely evil, and like you're going to see the full extent of it in part 2. Like it gets.
Well, yeah, like the Keemstar kid stuff, which I felt you guys almost didn't spend enough time on. You know how you had all the messages show up on screen, but it was
because that was one which we could not definitively 100% prove. He was doing directly to Keemstar. Now the person who's doing it is calling himself Jaystation's thug in inverted commas. Now that may be a direct result of Jaystation putting Keemstar's address out there, and it's one of Jaystation's fans. It may be Jaystation himself. We're not going to be able to prove that. In fact, like if we knew it was Jaystation and we had the definitive proof to prove it, then he would already be in jail. So that's really the answer to that.
Not only is what Jaystation doing evil, I think that he believes he's evil, and that's part of why we included the selling the soul to the devil.
Do you mean in a sense of like Voldemort, like kind of ego from it, or?
If he thinks that he's signed a contract where the good things that have happened in his life are due to an exchange he's made with the devil, then like what does that do to your mindset? You now think of yourself as essentially the contract also said that he's a loyal follower and worshiper of Satan. So, you know, if you think that you are the property of a demon, how do you behave when the choice comes up like, oh, should I do something that's in my own self-interest, or should I do something that is, looks out for the well-being of other people? You're going to consistently choose the selfish, self-serving thing, and no matter what it does to other people.
I think that's a really interesting point. We never discussed that before. But I guess, in a way, yeah, I suppose that would be true. If you know the devil is evil, or you think of the devil as evil, you sell your soul to the devil.
I still, honestly, like I'm not saying it's not the truth, but like I cannot wrap my head around the fact that he said that he sold his soul to the devil. Like
he did it. I mean, if you're not religious, it's a load.
It's actually like a Sam Hyde bit, man. Like I cannot. I'm trying to wrap my head around it so bad, but like.
I mean, if you believe in a higher power, you can believe in a higher evil.
If you're religious, it's probably a big deal to you. I don't think anyone in this call is particularly religious, so...
The thing is why would a devil want his soul? Don't they normally want kind of like a pure soul? Like, they're getting like the bottom of the barrel if they get
yeah, kind of. The devil got a shit deal, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I kind of feel sorry for the devil, man. Like, imagine your mascot being Jstation. Poor fucker. If the devil kills himself, does he go to heaven?
No, that's part of why in the lore, the devil is bound to this earthly realm. Like, he's cast out of heaven.
Pyrocynical, if you go to hell, what's your punishment?
Skinny people. Skinny people everywhere.
He actually beat me to it, you fucking piece of shit. I mean, yeah, what the duck said.
When you're doing these rituals and these 3 a.m. summonings all the time, right? All the time. And yeah, maybe you're thinking, okay, it's not real. We're just doing this, we're faking it. It's all fake. It probably does have an effect on someone.
I gotta ask though, honestly, why 3 a.m.?
Historically synonymous with like a lot of Shakespearean plays, or rather around that time it was considered the witching hour or the devil's hour.
I don't think they knew that, let's be real. I don't think they were studying Shakespeare.
So you're saying that Jaystation is a thespian?
No, my point is that it stems from Shakespeare. from that time frame is what I'm trying to say, like 15th, 16th century. It was known as the witching hour.
I like how you can tell it's going to be a good Jaystation video when he breathes in between every single word, like 3 a.m.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good indication, really. I mean, that's not going to...
No, it is. He makes good videos. You guys are just hating.
Okay, which was your favorite video of his?
The one where he smelled a furry's asshole. That one.
All right. What was it called?
3 a.m.
Just 3 a.m. on its own.
Sniffing furry asshole at 3
We bought a furry off the dark web, and he was crazy. That was the title of that video.
It just literally be something dark web 3 a.m. and that's like 80% of all his.
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Probably 90%.
So there's an interesting intersection between NFTs and furries, and the way that I came across it, the way that I came across this
what a great segue.
Yeah, I'm working on a video about NFTs, looking at the good and the bad of it, and there's a lot of good and a lot of bad. In the process of that, I've made some threads where I start to talk about NFTs, and I've noticed that there's like a disproportionate amount of furry avatars that will reply with an anti-NFT sentiment. So they'll say, this is ruining the environment, or like, this is anti-artist, or right-click save as. They'll use like some of the most famous criticisms of it. So I started to pull them aside basically and ask them like, hey, what is it that you really don't like about this? And as you question them, they'll say the thing that they've heard other people say before, but then eventually what I was hearing from them is they are hearing from their, like the people who drew their fursona, that the artists are worried that NFTs are going to make commissions dry up.
Yeah. I think that's what it was. It'd definitely be coming from the actual artists, and then they'd be spewing it over. It comes from a place of insecurity a little bit, because it is like, almost these people are like encroaching on their territory, because, like some of them...
Oh no, my degenerate art.
Unironically, yes. Yes.
And I didn't know anything about...
I gotta commission shit, man. I'm not having fucking monkey NFTs soak up all the fucking money.
You're gonna have fat monkey NFTs. Well done.
So like I was completely ignorant about the process of commissioning a fursona or a sona. And as I started to look into it, I realized that like the artists who make the sonas, for the most part, are not furries themselves. It's kind of like there'll be artists in college who are like putting themselves through school with a little money on the side. And you can find videos where like the title is like, how I make money with art, and put myself through school.
Yeah, there's like a popular artist meme that I see everywhere where it's like the meme's like they can never get a commission, they can never get anything, but as soon as they say that they're going to start drawing porn, they just get fucking flooded with people. It's like it's like my girlfriend draws that stuff, like the NSFW stuff, and like some of the requests she gets are just like, it's just so fucking weird.
From
like,
you, to say the least. I mean, Christ.
Hi.
What I wanted to ask you about is, the more that I looked into this, the more I realized that furries are basically making NFTs already. When you buy a sona, they're made often in what the artists will call batches, like the litter of the sonas that are...
That's right? Yeah, I genuinely feel that the whole batch thing, because it's like a pre-made character, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel that they made the batches because someone would message an artist and be like, hey, can I make a character? And then they would just be so god-awful at giving instructions that just nothing would get done. Like, the artist would probably want to blow their brains out, and then the person getting the art would be like, this isn't how I envisioned it, because all they can visually draw is like a stick man with feathers.
No, I want the fat farting fox farting on the monkey, not the monkey.
Okay,
yeah,
well,
that's my
that makes
people,
sense
man.
for the reason why they do it in batches. But one of the things that I thought was interesting about this is they conduct auctions when they have these batches. So they're buying them, they go to the highest bidder. And there have been auctions of sonas that reach as high as $20,000.
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen that before, yeah.
So they're already auctioning off the art. And that's how NFTs are being sold for the most part. The other thing that's interesting is that sona theft is an issue, right? Like that people will take a sona that was commissioned or rightfully belongs to someone else, and it's a one of one, it's a unique sona, and they'll just steal it. So
yeah, and there's no way to actually, I mean, I guess you could prove it's yours, but it's so much more difficult than like, because with NFTs and that, they have like a tag or some unique URL, right, that makes it theirs, I think.
Yeah, it's like that's the entire point of this, is to prove that you own this thing, that
with a character that you buy.
To you.
Imagine wanting to steal a fursona of all things.
Oh, it happens a lot more than you think, It really does.
No,
like,
I'm not
people just don't want to
surprised.
pay money.
I know the
They just end up-
degeneracy.
Fascinating.
I've spoken to you enough times to begin to understand, like, just how degenerate people are. art.
Well, how ironic then that the furry community is anti-NFT when NFTs solve one of their main problems.
They got an ulterior motive.
I think it's because they can't. They still haven't found a way to transform it into NFTs or something profitable yet, and they probably don't want to.
I want to work. They're already doing it. It's already a commercial practice.
But the thing is, there's already a lot of money in this degenerate art stuff. Pyrocynical is paying like 50% of his paycheck just on degenerate art.
Okay. That's definitely a bit of a hyperbolic statement. It's at least 45%. Come on,
and
man.
the other half on PS5 shirts.
I mean, yeah, you got to keep in mind. Who said that they've got a fuck ton of money? Was it you, Oliver?
No.
Yeah. It's unironically because like most of them are 30-year-olds that just work in IT, so they get paid like pretty well, and they just don't spend their money on anything else apart from like basic essentials.
This could come across misogynistic, maybe. Pyro, how would you describe the typical demographic of a furry artist who creates sonas and sells them? How would you describe them? Like what age, what gender, what?
I do not like gender could literally be anything, but like age range, it is usually like the ones that do it professionally, they're in their like mid to late 20s. Yeah, sometimes they're like early 30s.
Is it an even distribution between male and female?
I feel that women get into art more.
Way more.
My impression from just what little I've looked at it, and this is part of what I wanted to ask you about, is my impression is that there are more female artists doing sonas than males.
Probably, yeah.
Like you said, that
I
your
can't prove
girlfriend
that at
does
all,
it.
obviously, but yeah, that sounds pretty plausible, to be fair.
Well, yeah, because women are just better at fewer things.
Man, this guy, just actual misogynist.
Obviously, there's this impression of people who own crypto that they're crypto bros, and that comes from I don't know whether it's ever been.
I own crypto. I would blow my brains out if I ever got called a crypto bro.
You haven't been called a crypto bro? If you talk about it at all,
thank fuck I haven't, man. Thank God. I would happily donate all my Ethereum.
So there's an impression, right or wrong, and I think that it's from what I've seen, it's crypto is mostly dominated by males. It's like maybe 90% of the people who talk about crypto are male, for whatever reason that is. So what I'm wondering is like, is it possible that the furry community is like lacking education and understanding on how to basically adapt these NFTs that they're already making, these one-of-one sonas that they're selling at auction, where theft is a problem and provenance is a problem. They haven't adapted these as NFTs because they don't understand the technology. These artists don't own crypto.
It could partly be that. It's also like, as people, no one likes change, right? We kind of like comfortability and that. So like, obviously if they're getting bank just by doing the commissions, then why would they need to change that, right? Like I assume some of them,
like when a new platform comes out, you'll start to feel the FOMO if like, people who you care about, influential people or the majority of people all start to move towards something. And I think like if the majority of the artists don't understand crypto, don't own any, already have been procrastinating about even understanding what a Bitcoin is, then when they hear, oh, hey, you should be adapting your art to this new tech, like they're 3 steps removed from wanting to do that. So like there needs to be a tipping point in the other direction where finally enough of those artists who do sonas go, I totally get this. This is an NFT. And then, they can steer their own audience and their own crowd into not throwing shade on every single, like the furry community is basically waging war on crypto.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but again, like I said, it is kind of just that comfortability, like they don't really need to change that. I know for a fact if I reached out to like any furry artist now and said, what do you think about NFTs? Would you ever like start doing them? And they'd be like, no, fuck the people that do NFTs. They're fucking annoying.
One reason why somebody who would pay a lot for a Sona might prefer to have the token that proves that they own it dropped to them by the artist would be if somebody steals their Sona and they're like well liked.
They definitely pay more. I mean, what a lot of artists tend to do is as well, they'll do like this your character here shit. So they'll have like usually porn or something, right? Like a character doing something, but then you can't outright buy it. You need to bid for it. And then bidding kind of brings in that anxiety of like, oh God, if I don't bid and I don't get this, then like, I'm no one else, someone else is going to get it. And then it's not mine, it's one of a kind thing. So yeah, I know what you mean. Like it is really crazy, the overlap between like, some furry art and like NFTs.
And if you got out, like if you wanted to get out of the community or like change your Sona, like, I'm not a fox anymore, I'm a skunk, then you could sell your
My
Sona.
God,
right?
what a fucking transition.
I mean, yeah, you could literally do that, I guess. You just get a new character. I like how you talk about it getting out, dude. Like you're on about getting on the mob or something. Like once you're in, you can never leave.
No, you should change your persona to a fucking skunk. That would make the most sense.
He's gone through a lot of character development. It's Foxy the pirate, but now he has white hair.
It would make a lot.
Sometimes he's fat, sometimes he's not, sometimes he's farting, sometimes he isn't. He's just like, it's just a whole other fucking entity. No, but if you change it to a skunk, you'd be all right. It would work with the white hair, I think. It'd be nice, a nice aesthetic, you know? It was like Pepe Le Pew, who was banned recently for being a rapist. Oh, see, it's perfect. It's fucking perfect, Niall.
All right, let's wrap it up there.
It's like the correlation is just perfect there. The allegations, the farting, the stink, the furriness. Oh my God, why didn't I think of this
Someone
before?
put him in a home, man. Put this guy in a home. He's been speaking too much. He's off his fucking dementia meds. Another episode of I put my hearing aid on the wrong frequency.